Hello, everyone. I am late making this post. This video. However, today has been one of those days on the YouTube streets. I'm not going to be like everybody else and address it at this time. Um, it's a sad day. What happened happened. Well, we didn't want to happen. Some of us did happen, and that's all I'm going to say. Okay, moving on. Moving forward. Um, First, let me thank you all for subscribing and sharing my posts. I keep saying post, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. I just watched Harriet, and it was good. It wasn't what I expected. It was good, but I'm gonna tell you, it was the song at the end of the movie called "Stand Up." Oh my goodness, I'm learning it as we speak. I knew most of it, which was funny. I guess I heard a lot of it from the radio. So I'm learning that because I'm going to sing that thing. And spit up on my kids out loud. I am upstairs in my bedroom and I hear them through my floor. That don't make no sense. Anywho, it is now 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, a.m., not p.m. And I need to go to bed because I have church in the morning. But I promised my people that I would do a video today and tell what I was trying to tell. Okay, so it's been some talk on the YouTube streets regarding down low and homosexuality and the alphabet people. Okay, I don't know all the letters, so I'm not going to disrespect the community by just giving them any letters. I just safely say the alphabet people. I want to give you all another way of looking at some stuff. Now, these are my experiences, not everybody's. And so I'm going to tell you from my experience. Some of you who are new to my channel may not understand what I'm saying or what I'm talking about. I advise you to go back and listen to my videos about what I've been through, and we will pick up from there. So, this in regards to, let me start here. When I was younger, molested. I also was raped and incest. So today I'm going to talk about the female aspect of it. I did write this in my book. I haven't shared my two books yet because of there are different sectors on YouTube that like to dox people. And as I stated once before, who my family is and things like that, that would not be a good idea. One, for the political side, and two, for the gangster side. I got two different sides, okay? However, that's why I have not shared my legal name and talked about my books, the titles of them. I will do that, but with everything going the way that it is on the YouTube streets, I don't know how soon I'm going to do that because people are falling out left and right. And I understand when you're fed up, you have to stand your ground, stand your ground. So, that being said, again, I'm not going to discuss that moving forward. I am, I was young, and I'm going to go right into where I left off at. One of my female cousins, okay, her father used to tell me when I spent the night to sleep with her, so that was kind of like a given. So, my first night, this is after some shenanigans that had already went on with me, two female cousins, and four male cousins. They would tell them what to do, and they would do it to me. Okay. So one night, and let me okay. This is how this first started. Okay. Now, when my male cousins would say, "Kiss Coco," like that, and they would do it. And, me wanting to be around my family, my cousins, and have fun, because that was the fun house. They had everything. And I lived in the projects at that time. So to get away from where I lived at to go to a whole nother city and be around my cousins in this nice big old house where it was mixed community, white, black, Chinese, stuff like that. and they had a pool. I mean, they just had a nice house. So, um, when you're a kid, you will keep a secret in order to be included. Okay? So I was in the bed. Like I said, I was sleeping with his cousin. Anytime I spent the night, that's where I slept. So I was in the bed, and so she said, have you took a shower? And I said, no, I'm going to take it in the morning. She said, well, Daddy always like for us to take ours at night, because in the morning we'll rush, just in case we rush it. I said, oh, okay. So I got up out of the bed, okay, went in the shower. She said, come on, let's go in here. And she said, I'm going to show you how to turn the water and stuff on. I might even take one with you. Well, little girls take baths all the time. You know, women watch each other get dressed. You know, it's just how we are. We'll be like, girl, does this fit? You know, stand in front of our friend with our bra and underwear on. Or should I wear it? You know, so it's no big deal. All right. So I go in the restroom, run the shower. She runs it. Because I knew what a shower was. Don't get me wrong, y'all. But where I live, they didn't have showers. We just have bathtub. So I was loving the shower, okay? So she ran the shower water. And she was like, I'll wash your back for you. So she got to washing my back. And I'm going to try to make this PG, y'all, because I know y'all old enough to get what I'm saying. But I want y'all to know how this happened, okay? So she said, well, you have to put, it was a little ledge in the shower thing. And I guess it's where you could sit down at, because back then it's not so pronounced like it is now in showers. You know, they got the shower chair built into some showers. So I put my foot up on the ledge thing inside of the shower. Next thing I knew, my cousin, she was washing me. She went down to wash me in that spot and started messing with me. And I was like, and I froze. And she's like, relax. So again, I'm like, okay, all right. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It felt good. Weird, but good. Okay. Because you like in order to understand why I said that, you have to go back and listen to my other videos to understand where I'm coming from. So then she said, well, let's get out. So when we went to get out, I went to step up. She said, stop right there. So she took my towel and was drying me off. I was like, well, this is nice of her. Next thing I knew, this girl dropped to her knee and started licking me in that spot. I didn't know what to think. I'm like, because I looked and it was a female. And I'm like, should I be feeling this way? Period. One, I was young. Two, but with a female on my body was reacting to what she was doing. Okay, so y'all get it now. So, and even when that was done, there was nothing like for her to roll over in the bed. Like anytime I spent the night, when everybody was asleep, like she would check and make sure everybody was asleep and stuff. And I'd be like, what is she doing? But none of my business, you know, that's how I felt in my mind until she would start moving her hands to my spot, you know, and everything. And okay, so y'all got that. Well, that stayed in me. And while my other cousin, where I lived at every day, was, you know, coming down, kissing me, you know, locking me in where he was so I couldn't get out so he could do what he wanted. Part of me started disliking him and men, well, not men, boys, period, at that time because of what was going on with me, with him. Okay, moving forward. So now I'm an adult. And I was going to a place where you can go and get your high school diploma. We have it in Kentucky. And because I had to drop out of high school because I had a child. And my babysitter flaked on me and quit. I told y'all about that. So I met this girl when I was going to the place to get my high school diploma. And and it was 3 sessions. One morning session, one evening session, one afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry, one morning, one afternoon, one evening. Sometimes I go to all 3 sessions because it was easier to have somebody to watch my child for 3 hours. Like if I couldn't get nobody to watch in the morning, I knew in the afternoon somebody in my family would be home. So I would go in the afternoon and evening, you know. So anyway, I met this girl, and we all was me, her, about three more other girls, and about 3 dudes. We all hung together, and sometimes on our in between sessions, we would walk to the store, put our money together, and get some chicken wings, hot sauce, go back to somebody's house that was close to the school, and we smoke weed. Get buzzed, okay? Then go back to school. I was just smart enough to learn. I'm a quick learner. So where everybody else was so high, they couldn't get they stuff. I could because okay, I put it like this. I couldn't smoke weed. I'm not a drinker, but I tried. Okay, every time the weed was passed to me, I hit it. I just wasn't good at it. And I look at back now, God wasn't meant for me to get high like that because I stay on a natural high anyway. I laugh all the time. I enjoy life. So. Anywho, so this was all the time. And for some reason, me and her clicked. Us two clicked. We just became like real, real cool, like sisters like. So fast forward. I met her boyfriend through her. Come to find out, it's the same dude who had been chasing me where I lived at, who liked me, and I wouldn't give him the time of day. And then my brother threatened him one day. Was like, man, back up off my sister, blah, blah, blah. So I found out, I said, you are her boyfriend? Oh my goodness. He said, hey. So I didn't know if he was going to tell her or not. So anyway, I was over her house, and she said, "There's something I want to say to you." She said, "Well, we want to say to you, but I don't know how to say it." I said, "Girl, you ain't never been shy to talk to me. Go ahead and say it." And she was like, "No, because I don't want to ruin our friendship." I'm like, "Well, stop saying it then. One minute you got something to say, next minute you don't. So anyway, I went back out her house one day, and she said, "Okay, okay, it's something I want to say to you." Okay, but before I went out of her house, she kept hinting to it. So I'm at her house, and she said, "I'll just tell you on the phone." So I went home. She called me. I said, "What's up?" I said, "I made it home." I said, "What's up?" She said, "Okay, me and I'm just going to call him E." She said, "Me and E are thinking about doing a threesome." I said, "Okay." And she said, and he left it up to me to pick the girl. I said, "Okay." I said, "Y'all crazy anyway, okay." So she said, "And I want the girl to be you." See how quiet I got? That's how quiet I got on the phone. She said, "You hear?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You ain't got nothing to say?" I said, Why me?" She said, "Why not you?" She said, "For one, let me run it down. You my bestie. I trust you. You cute. You got a nice body. So why not?" And I'm like, "You really thought about this?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "But me and him agreed to it. We want you." Well, I knew he was going to say it because he'd been trying to get me for, what, years? So I was like, I got to think about this. I don't know because I don't want nothing to ruin our friendship, and I ain't into that. Now, y'all heard me start off saying what happened to me when I was younger, right? Okay. So I wasn't into it, but an, um, I wasn't a stranger to it, okay? So I was like, I'll let you know. So the next day, not the next day, but I'm going to say the next day. It was like 2 weeks later or something like that, but because I don't have the exact time, I'm just going to say the next day. Went out her house. It was on a Saturday. I never forget it. And we was at the table, me, her, him, dance. We had the music on. We was dancing, acting silly and all this and stuff. And so they kept, after a while, they were sitting and looking at me. And I said, "What?" And they said, you ain't thought about it? I said, I'm still thinking about it, y'all. They said, oh, okay. Well, it turned into from us out acting silly to them two smooching, making out. And with them making out, he laid her on the floor and began to taste the stuff, taste the peach, if you understand what I'm saying. I was like, okay. So I'm just sitting there sipping like, y'all crazy. So anyway, he said, we'll save this for later. I later found out, she told me that he felt like if he did that in front of me, that it would make it easier for me to join them. That's what that little setup was for. It didn't work in his favor. But I'm going to tell you what did work. So she said, we're going to need some more ice. And he said, yeah, I'm going to make a run to the liquor store anyway. He was like, what you want? I said, give me a Pepsi. Because everybody know that was my drink, Pepsi. And he's like, how you going to drink Pepsi with what we drinking? I said, don't worry about that. Give me a Pepsi. So he said, all right. He said, I'll be back. So he called her from the liquor store. I was like, I'm going to stop and get some wings for us. And she said, okay. She said, he going to get some wings. I said, ooh, give me lemon pepper. So he was gone. She said, well, while he's gone, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take a bath. I said, okay, well, if anybody call, I answer your phone. She said, okay. After all, we besties, so it ain't nothing for me to say, hey, this is Coco. Hey, Coco, tell such and such a, call me back. Even her mom was like, hey, daughter, So the phone rung, and I was like, but it was my mom. She was like, are you staying out there? She said, because I'm going to take the girls, talking about my kids, I'm going to take the girls, and we're going to go shopping, and then we ain't coming back out this way. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stay out here. If not, then I'll just get them to bring me home. She said, okay. I said, well, y'all enjoy yourself. All right. Next thing I know, my friend calls me from the bathroom. And I said, huh? She said, hey, she said, any ice in there or something like that? I'm like, remember he went to get it. It's a couple pieces. She said, hey, bring that glass in here. She said, put those, if you don't need them, in the glass and bring it here. I said, all right. Now, it wasn't nothing because she saw me naked before. I saw her naked before. We best friends. No big deal. So I wasn't tripping over that. So anyway, I'm like, girl, where are you? She said, in the tub. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go in the bathroom. And she was like, do me a favor. I said, what? She said, wash my back for me. I'm like, okay, cool. No big deal, okay? So I get my rag, well, not my rag, but get her rag. She put the soap on it. I can tell y'all what type of soap it was. It was Zest. She put the soap on it. I was rubbing her back. As I rubbed her back, she took her hand and slid it in my shorts, okay? All right. So now I'm like, okay, we just crossed the line from being best friends to whatever this is going to turn out to be. So I slowed up. I didn't stop washing her back. I slowed up, and she kept on. So if I lied to y'all and said it wasn't a turn on, I would be lying because it was. Remember, my body was used to that because of what had already happened to me. So, anyway, when that happened, she stood up. Okay, I'm standing there. I ain't got to tell y'all. I ain't got to tell y'all what happened. In the famous words of QB, what happened? But what happened? So that went from the bathroom to the bed. And I mean, it went down. It went down. And I was surprised that I was responding like I was. And in some cases, I even took charge. So when he got back, he kind of knew something. Like, I was dressed like I was. She was already dressed. She was in the kitchen. I was sitting back at the table, but I guess it was just in the air that something's changed. And he looked. He was like, "What's wrong with y'all?" We both was like, "Nothing." He's like, "No, something wrong." She was like, "Give me the food like that." So I'm fast forwarding. When I got home, she called me and she was like, "Do you regret it?" And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "I don't either." She said, "He wanted it to be us three. I always fantasized it being just me and you." She said, "I didn't want to share you with him." So that's why she sent him, because when he was doing what he was doing to her in front of me, it was a turn on to her. And so she sent him to go get something so she can turn on me in that way, because she wanted me to herself. So my question to her was, um, so what does this mean? And she said, "Well, to me it means," she got to describe it. And I was like, "I can't do it. Because y'all, I knew I wasn't gay because I loved me some man. I was mad because of what was happening, what had happened to me and was still happening to me. But I knew I wasn't that. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it wasn't that. So I told her, I can't do that. I can't even put my kids under that. I don't want them to be." She said, "I understand that because I don't want my son to go through that either." She said, "Well, I'll tell you what, it'll just be our secret. We know what we are." And I was like, "Cool." So she came down my house, and after we put the kids to bed for a nap, because she never stayed all night, but she would come down and stay all day sometimes, and we would take the kids places, you know, because I was a big believer of naps. I think all kids should take a nap. It's just as quiet as it's kept. It's good for them, and so did she. So once we knew they was sleep, and they was down for their nap, then it was time for me and her. And so we would go in my room, like when she came to my house, go in my room and we put something against the door, turn the music on, and we would just go at it. Okay, so my then boyfriend at the time started realizing I was acting funny. And he would come over and he would see her over my house. And he just said, because we've talked about this since, he said it just, something seemed off. He said, like, I would go to put my arm around you or something. You were like, "Oh, you silly," and push my arm away while she was there. And she would just look at me real funny. I said, "Dang, you knew that?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "'Cause she would give me this funny look and then trying to smile through it." He said, "I was like, what is going on with this?" He said, "I couldn't put two and two together, but I knew it wasn't just friendship. I kind of felt like maybe she was jealous or whatever." So, you know, I came to the decision that that wasn't for me. I didn't want to keep doing it, even though it felt right. Because a lot of things that's wrong feel right, and that's my feeling about it. And she said she understood, and I said I think it'd be better if we don't talk as much as we used to, whatever. And she had a hard time with that, but I had to do that. Well, months passed, like I would see her at school, we would hang, and then it was like, "See you later," and with me not talking to her and all this and stuff. I got a call one night, and I said, "What's wrong?" It was one of her kids, and they was like, "Something's wrong with Mama," you know, and I was like, "What's wrong with her?" "Oh no." So I'm like, "Oh my goodness." Okay, I said, "Well, hang up." So I called her mom, and I said, "Hey, Mom D." She said, "Hey, daughter, are you, did you hear?" I said, "No." I said, "The kids called me and said something's wrong with her." She said, "You need to come and get her." She said, "I'm going to hurt her. Come and get her." I said, "What is going on?" She said, "I'm going to let her tell you." I said, "Okay, I'm on my way." So I got in my car, and drove over to her mom's house. And when I got over there, I was not ready for what I saw, y'all. What I saw in front of me was a piece of my friend. And what I mean by that is she had been high. I didn't know she was doing dope. And apparently, when we go down the timeline, after I backed up from her, her and her boyfriend started getting high. And he introduced her to it and she started doing it. And I was pissed. And when she saw me walk in, she tried to straighten herself up. I just stood there and looked at her. I said, "What's wrong with you?" "Nothing, nothing. Coco, nothing. Ain't nothing wrong. It's good to see you. Ain't nothing wrong." And she hugged me. I said, "You don't even look the same." Mama ain't gonna lie. "What's wrong with you?" "Nothing, nothing." So then she started all this crying. I'm like, so her kids is crying now because they see their mama cried. That's normal. So I'm like, "Come on." She said, "I just need to go to the hospital. I feel like I need to go to the hospital." I said, "Come on, I'm going to take you to the hospital." Oh, so took her to the hospital, called her mama and told her I'm dropping her off at the hospital once I make sure she's signed in. And all that, "Do you want me to come and get the kids?" She said, "No, I got the kids." I said, "Okay." She said, "Well, I'll be waiting for her call for me to pick her up from the hospital." I said, "Okay." I said, "What's wrong with her?" She said, "She won't tell me. She just keep getting high." I said, "Okay." So we're going to fast forward. Moved on, still with my boyfriend, still with my cousin. Truth be told, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. So I'm like, okay, so one day my phone rings again. This time, y'all, it's like 2 a.m. I going on 3. And I'm like, hello? That's all I hear. I'm like, who is this? Best friend. I said, oh my goodness. I said, what is wrong? I don't know how to tell you. I just don't know how to tell you. I said, tell me. You ain't never been shy to tell me nothing. Yeah, but we ain't the same no more. I said, I'm still your best friend. She said, you know what I mean. And I said, what's wrong? I think I need to go to the emergency room. Okay, y'all, when she said she thinks she can go to the emergency room, that's because she done got high. Okay? And I said, you didn't. And I ain't talking about weed high. I said, you didn't. And she just cries harder on the phone. I'm on my way. I get dressed. I get over and I'm seeing these babies. Oh my goodness, these kids' faces is looking at me like, what's wrong with my mama? So they hug me. They call me auntie, auntie. So we get in the car, and because our mama said, I ain't keeping these babies this time. You gonna take these babies with you through that whole ordeal at the emergency room. I said, oh my goodness. And she said, and don't you take them. Told me that. She said, don't you take them. Because she need to learn her lesson. I said, yes, ma'am. We get to emergency room. She signs in. They take her vitals. They take her to the back. The kids is following her. I'm following the kids. She had to put on this gown, got in the bed. They started taking her vitals again. And the kids are sitting over in the corner crying, holding on to each other because they don't know what's wrong with their mama. Yeah, I swear, it's like I'm reliving it right now. Boy, I was not ready for what she said to me. And I said, hey, your mommy's going to be okay. Her stomach hurt. That's it. She got a tummy ache. I said, y'all remember when y'all had a tummy ache? Yes, ma'am. I said, your mommy have a tummy ache. I said, but she a big person, so she got big tummy ache like that. And her son started laughing. And that made his little sisters laugh. So I said, so I'm going to turn on the TV, and y'all just focus on the TV, and then I'll take y'all down the hall and get y'all something to drink. But I didn't have to do that because the nurse came in. I said, do y'all have any graham crackers, juice? She said, oh, yeah, for the kids. She said, sure. She said, wait a minute. So she went out there. She was really nice and brought back in, the stuff for the kids. And they was occupied with their food and TV. And I went over and sat next to my friend. And I said, and y'all gotta excuse me because I was cussing back then. I don't cuss anymore, but I was cussing back then. But I'm telling y'all what I said, okay? Govern yourself accordingly. I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I didn't say it loud where they could hear me because on that little, they got like a stool that you can roll. I sat on that stool and rolled right by her head. So what the fuck is wrong with you? And she started crying. I said, because if they hear you crying, they gonna cry. I said, don't cry. Tell me what's wrong with you. Yeah, I was not ready for what I heard. She said, and I quote, I love you. I said, I love you too. She said, no, I love you. And I looked at her. I said, you mean? She said, yeah. She said, I can't deal with it. She said, me and him ain't together no more. I got these kids. She said, and I thought what me and you did was just a phase. She said, and you broke it off and you told me you were straight up with me. I can't get mad. She said, but I just can't shake it because I love you. And she said, this is my way of escaping. And I think the fact that she was trying to battle with whether or not she was gay or not. And I think she was. And she thought that when me and her was getting it in, that we would be together. I think that's how she had it in her mind that, well, we're going to be together. Especially after that first night, and we kept on, probably every time we saw each other. So, oh, my neck hurt. And so I said, no, no, don't say that. I said, you don't mean that. She said, yes, I do. I said, but you know. She said, I know. And it's hard for me to deal with that. She said, you cut off all contact with me. I said, I did not. She said, yes, you did. And y'all, I had to do that for my own mentality. I had to. I felt myself, I said, it's either me or her. Because I didn't feel like there was a relationship I was willing to invest in, not in that way. And I knew it, and I'm not one that's going to lead nobody on. And so I was like, I'm going to have to just, you know how people be smoking? They was like, you can wing yourself. I'm not a winger. Once I'm trying to get over something, I go cold turkey. I can't wing myself because it'll make me crave it more. That's what coffee, chocolate, anything. So I felt sorry for her, watching her lay in the bed, watching the kids, and everything. And then she got smart with me. It's your fault I'm here. Because had you act right, and all this and stuff. And I knew that was the drugs talking. But you're not going to wake me up in the middle of the night, have me come out, pick you up, and my precious sky babies, take you to the emergency room, sit with you, and get smart with me. Oh, no, you ain't going to do that. Did you forget who I am? See, because my legacy is I don't argue. We'll just fight and we'll be done with it. But a lot of times I held my restraint with her because I knew she was my bestie at the time, and the one thing you don't want, if you really cool with somebody, you don't want to see them hurt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have windmilled for her because, like, we both short, but she had a lot of mouth and really couldn't fight. I was quiet, but I would beat you to death. That was the difference. We was like yin and yang to each other. And a lot of times, girls will want to fight her because she had all that mouth, but she couldn't fight. So by me being her best friend, I had to step in and be like, y'all fight her, y'all might as well swing this way because I am. And because at the time my reputation preceded me, people really, they would weigh their options with like, do I really want to scrap with her? You know. So I was a female that fought dudes too. And my game was so hard that even dudes would be like, it ain't the girl you want to fight. So, and y'all remember what fueled at the time my fight game. It was because I was being molested at an early age when I was little and I had all that rage in me, and their rage every time I saw somebody, I took it out on them. So that made my fight game even the more. So back to her and everything. So she got smoky and all that. I mean, she wouldn't back down. Do you hear me? And the kids begin to turn around. I say, "Is that a good cartoon?" You know, and all this and stuff, trying to get their mind off of what me and her talking about. So they shook their head and turned back around like, "Oh, okay, everything's cool." I leaned over on that bed because I was already by her ear. I got closer. I said, "First of all, you know who I am." I said, "B, you already in the hospital." I said, "Keep getting smart. I'm going to beat your ass. And you will be in here for real." Like that. Because you don't get an argument out of me. That's what you get, these hands. And she just looked. I said, "And let me tell you something else. This is my last time coming to pick you up for some bullshit." I said, "I'm sitting here with you. Your own mama wouldn't come. I left my kids, my bed, to come and take care of you, to make sure you okay, and you gonna give me your ass to kiss? It don't work like that." I said, "So this is my last time, and I mean my last, coming to rescue you." And so I stood up. She looked at me, and I looked at her. And I was thinking in my mind, like I told her, "You already in the hospital." So I stood up. I walked over to her. At the time, she had 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy, the boy being the oldest. I kissed them, hugged them, said, "Godmama, Greer, go." You know, because I was the godmama and they called me auntie. They said, "Okay, auntie," like that. I said, "Yeah, take care of your mama." They said, "Yes, ma'am." She's still staring at me. I'm staring at her. Like, I wish she would. Now, you can't fight, so you know I ain't gonna hit you. But if you leap up out of bed like you Johnny Goodbad, I'ma show you. Don't keep pushing me. This is what I'm thinking in my head. I didn't say it. I'm like, "Girl, you know you can't fight." She was banking on the fact that I wasn't gonna hit her. Yeah. Don't bank on that too much because if you swing on me, yeah. Anywho, so it didn't go. It didn't. That night was horrible. Because I told her after I hugged him and everything, she kept staring at me, and I walked right back over to in her face this time. I said, "I'm telling you in your face, I am done with you. Pull the stunt again. Don't call me." And I mean it. I said, "Itch, I am done with you." And I backed up and I walked out of the room and I never looked back. Okay, we're going to fast forward. I found out through her mama that she was in penitentiary. Yeah, she ended up going to penitentiary. And her mother had custody of the kids. She ended up marrying the guy, Lord. She ended up marrying the guy, and so he shared custody with the mother. And she would always tell me, she asked me, "I saw you, she asked me about you," and I told her I hadn't seen you. I said, "Keep it like that." I said, "Mama, keep it like that." So she burnt her bridge with me. I hate that she's in prison, but she burnt her bridge with me. And I found out why she went. She was high and did some stuff she shouldn't. So she went to penitentiary. I forgave her, y'all, but our relationship after that was never the same. So while she was in penitentiary, she obtained, I gave her mother my address because she wanted my address so she can write me. She told her mother she needed to make what she did right with me. And she did, and I accepted it, because I don't know how it feels to be strung out. I don't. So I accepted her apology and I asked her to forgive me because the way that I left wasn't right. And everything. So, but even in her letters, she would always tell me, I still love you. And you know how I'm talking, So, anyway, she's out and everything. She's been out for a minute. She's doing good. She did get married to somebody else because her and that guy, yeah, whatever. So she did get married to somebody else. She invited me to the wedding. I just didn't think it was a good idea because I didn't want to trigger anything. And she is on my Facebook page. We talked yesterday via Facebook and everything. And her new marriage, when she got out, she married this guy, and it didn't work out. So they both filed for divorce, and it's almost up, you know. But I always wish her well, And like I told her yesterday, was it yesterday or today? I'm getting my days mixed up. I told her yesterday, I think, I said, I'm always here for you, you know. I said, we both are mature now, we're older now, we know better. I said, so, because every time she posts what she's going through, and sometimes she goes out of her mind. I just read her post and just pray for her and keep her moving, and because I'm mature. And so I told her, I said, I'm here for you. She said, I know you are friend. She said, you are really my friend. You have ride with me. She said, and I know who's for me and who's not. She said, I don't even have to say. She said, I already know you for me. She said, you was there when nobody else was. She said, and it just is what it is. I said, yeah, you're right. I said, just let me know if you need me. And if I can do it, I'll do it. So I said all that. I wanted to tell y'all before. And I'm not going to tell you what to think, but I will say this. I know it's been a whole lot of things about download. To me, download men, to me, are the bottom of the barrel. And I'm going to tell you why. They know, because regardless if you understand or not, we consider men to be of a different statue than us. Like we consider them to be king, to be hard, to be, so we cannot fathom that they want us, but they really want what they have. And a lot of times these download men play with people's health, emotions, and everything. You all have heard about my ordeal with the download situation. So I would say this. There was a question that one content creator brought up and said about download women. Is it the same with men? I'm going to say no. For one, a male's fantasy is to have two women at one time. So to me, this is my belief. Not my belief, but this is from my experience. When I speak to other men about the situation, or when I speak to men, their fantasy, they'll say, ooh, I think it's hot to have two women at one time, and it's hot. They don't see it as a stigma because we're women. But I cannot see two women say, ooh, yeah. A woman say, I can't wait to see two men. Yeah, that's a turn on. It doesn't work like that. Because to us, you're gay. And regardless if it's right or not wrong, we can't get that stigma from what we say with the males out of our mind. Like, that's what you'll always be. So, I want to say, and here's the other thing. They said that if you were the same sex, you automatically be with the same sex, that you can never be straight. That somebody that be with the same sex can't be straight. From a woman's point of view, I'm going to say that's not correct. Because there were circumstances that led me open to be used to a female touch. And so part of my body, this is before I went through my counseling and all that and started really finding out who I was. That experience, when it began to happen, see, to me, okay, I ain't saying to everybody, but to me, it's easy for a woman to go from best friend mode to, you know, when she's been touched. A lot of times, females that's been touched take a disliking or a disdain for men. because most of the time it's a man who has molested a woman or raped a woman. So when they see a penis, it's like, ugh, because they mind go back to what the male did. Some women, when they, are violated, they become, oh, for better words, they become promiscuous. You know, they can't get enough. Like, let me just say, I had a very strong craving for sex. So much so, like I told you, I became a dominatrix to feed that hunger that I had. And at that time, the need for power, because when you're molested and when you're raped repeatedly, I have incest repeatedly, you lose the power for yourself, okay? Because you're under somebody else's demands. So I just want to come on here and say that that is my experience. I'm not saying right or wrong. You make your own judgment. But I want to share this and say, parents. Let me make sure this microphone's on. Hold on. Hello, parents. Stop letting your kids do sleepovers. This happened to me with this set of cousins because of sleepovers. Pay attention to your children. If they begin to change slightly, question it. Do a timeline. Go back and see what happened when. Ask those hard questions that parents hate to ask, but it can mean the difference in your child. Ask those questions. I don't care if they get pissed. That's our job as parents, to piss our kids off to get the truth. Excuse my French, but that's how I feel. Ask those tough questions. You might find the answer to it. I read a book one day, My Soul Opened Up by Iyanla Vanzant. And I asked my daughter from that book, I had just read something. I said, have you been touched? And it took her so by a loop. She was like, ma'am. And I looked at her and I was like, oh my goodness. And I'll tell you about that some other day. I don't want to cross the stories. But ask those questions. Don't be the parent that has their head in the sand, okay? Because it's always the very one that you least expected is the one who's doing it. I'm telling you. So that's my experience with a female lover, and I can't say I didn't like it. I did. Would I do it now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I see not all women, so don't come for me, but most women experiment with a woman when they're younger, though, like kids. That's why I said watch these sleepovers, because they sound innocent, but I'm telling you, it's a whole lot going these sleepovers. You have no idea. No idea. And if you take nothing else from what I'm saying, please keep your child innocent as long as you can. Please don't put your babies in adult situations. I don't care if Bobo is your first cousin removed. I don't care if Tutu is your big brother. If your kids are real frightened when it comes to them, you might want to watch that and question it. I'm just saying. So that's my experience, and I wanted to bring awareness to how something so innocent can turn inward real quick, and how some people end up in same-sex situations but don't be gay. So I hope you all get some out of my story. If I hadn't lived it, I wouldn't have believed it. I keep telling y'all that. Please like, share, and subscribe. I don't have drama on my channel. I'm sorry if it's not appealing, but I said I would be honest. I would come on here and be honest and let people know you're not by yourself. That somebody else went through something worse and came out successful. So I just wanted to share that. So everybody have a great day. Today is March the 8th. It means the 8th number means new beginning. Number 3 is Trinity, which means agreement. So you all be blessed. Thank you for subscribing and sharing and coming to my channel. All my new subbies, thank you so much for coming to Coco 9 tonight. And what I won't do is lie to you. So my channel is much different than anybody else's, but I have to be true. And I promise that I will come on here to share my stories to help somebody else that may be going through it or have went through it and just don't know how to heal. All right. See you later. Smooch.